Hello, Internet. Thank you once again for joining me to talk all things vertical drama, but also possibly a little bit of music this time, because my guest is the very wonderful JC Ann. So I'm going to ask JC to start and just give a little intro of herself to you, the Internet.
Hello, Internet. Thank you, Jen, for having me. My name is JC Ann. I'm an actor and a singer-songwriter, and that's about it.
Okay, so where did you grow up? Small town, big town?
Um, Small-ish town. So I grew up in the East Bay, so the Bay Area, but the East Bay. So people think like San Francisco, but I'm actually like 30 minutes outside of San Francisco. It wasn't like small, but it wasn't big. We are known for being a farm town, though, so maybe it's smaller than I'm giving it credit for.
What do you grow there? What's the
Oh
local
my gosh,
produce?
everything. Like my favorite is when stone fruit season comes out. So we have like cherries and apricots and pluots and plums and all that good stuff. There's also like strawberries and squash and tomatoes and zucchini and like literally everything. It's the California Valley, so we grow all the things that California likes. Oh, corn is our biggest thing.
Oh, wow. And I want to know about baking now. Because in my head,
Oh,
we've gone slightly Hallmark and everyone's baking like blueberry pies. Is baking a big part of your life? Are you a baker?
yeah, like I cannot bake at all. I cook like 10 things very well and that is it. My roommate Taylor, she's very adventurous in the kitchen. So oftentimes I'll be like, "Hey, I'll cook bean and cheese enchiladas, the one thing that I know how to cook, and then you make like a fun, interesting salad and we'll like have that together for dinner."
I love that. So you've got the
Yeah.
staple and then Taylor gets to be inventive. So yeah.
Yes, she's so inventive.
So, growing up, given that you've got an interest in acting and music and singing, was there anyone around you in your family who also had that? Or has that all just come from you?
Yeah, actually, I was just talking about this with a friend the other day, because I had the same question asked to me, but I actually come from a family of scientists and engineers, like the background being very like, you know, analytical brain.
Mm.
But my grandmother on my dad's side, she was a dancer, in Forbidden City, Chinatown, back in the 40s. There was like this Chinese nightclub. She's Chinese. There's this Chinese nightclub, and it's since been shut down. But it was very, very popular back in the 40s, and she was a dancer. She did like burlesque style dancing, but comedic. So she'd like play little bits on the stage. And yeah, I was like going through this, and she's definitely the most performer-esque creative person in the family, and I must get it from her? Question mark. Yeah.
So, do you remember as a child then when you realised this is what I want to do? Like when I guess like
Oh,
when that buzz, that magic happened for you, where you're like, this is the best thing ever.
yeah, that didn't happen until like a year and a half ago. I don't come from this world. I have a degree in environmental science, and
Ooh.
I just started acting like we're about to hit 2 years is when I first took my first acting
Yeah.
class. And I was in like a very transitionary period of my life. And I
Okay.
was kind of just like throwing things at the wall, seeing what
Um,
sticks. I really wasn't trying to like become an actor. I was really trying to meet
um,
people and make friends because I was going through like a big separation. And I took an acting class and I really liked it. And I started auditioning. And honestly, it was when I was on set. It was when I was on my first vertical set, actually, last January. So, like over a year and a half ago, where I met Taylor, my now roommate, that I realized I think I really like this. And I think I'd like to do this in some capacity for
that's
the foreseeable future.
because that's so interesting. Because so many people are like, oh well, from the age of 3, I was putting on shows and that. So okay, so I have to ask, what were you then spending your childhood doing, and kind of what were your passions then?
Um, well, honestly, I played a lot of video games as a child. I loved outside time. From ages up to 9,
Uh,
I played outside every single day. Then when I was 9, we moved to a little bit further away out of a cul-de-sac, and so my mom was like, you can't be going too far away from the house.
um,
But when it was in my cul-de-sac time of my life, that was like outside every single day, always playing with friends, always like digging in the dirt. That's probably where my like love of bugs comes from. It's like digging in the dirt as a child. But yeah, played a lot of video games like Minecraft and Club Penguin and all those things that, us 90s babies
Oh,
played.
Club Penguin. I remember that. So I used to be a bookseller and we used to sell like the guidebook to Club Penguin. That was huge for
Oh,
about 2 years.
yeah, yeah. I love that stuff. Totally grew up on that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
so
didn't play
lovely.
any sports. I didn't do any theater. I never did anything in the arts. The
Mm,
closest thing to the arts that I got was I was in leadership for like 2 years in middle school.
yeah.
Um, that, but that's more of like leadership. Yeah.
So, okay, so you do your degree, and then obviously you were looking for stuff, and you thought acting class, that's the way to meet people. Totally get that.
Yeah, yeah. I was like,
Well,
when was the last time that I made friends? Oh, college, like meet like classes, like a place where you like
uh,
meet, you're like forced to like interact. And I took different kinds of classes. I took like pottery, I took Pilates workout classes. Turns out people don't really want to talk that much, like while they're
oh, yeah,
working out. But
yeah.
in acting they did, and those people were like, oh, I was like theater people. I like them. Yeah.
Oh, so when did you go from then? Okay, so you're going to an acting class, and you're like, I'm enjoying this. What's the process of that to getting your first paid acting job?
Yeah, actually, my I have to give a lot of credit to Frank Perillo, my acting coach. He knew that I wasn't taking it seriously. And he like kind of pulled me aside one day and was like, "Hey JC, I know you're not really taking this seriously." 'Cause I told him I was like I don't know if I'm gonna be here for don't sell me on your like long-term course but he pulled me aside one day and was like, I think that if you wanted to, you could be a working actor. And
Oh,
I was like, oh, okay. I never really thought of that as like a career line or anything. And he was like, I think you're good enough to be, at the very least, a working actor. And so I submitted some headshots on Actors Access. I didn't have a demo reel or anything. I just had headshots when I first started. And I booked like 2 day player roles within the first couple of weeks of
wow.
submitting. I was submitting like every day. Put my
Yeah.
headshots on Actors Access and I was just submitting like every day in the
Uh,
morning, just submit, 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 submit. And then I booked a couple of roles that were like I was on set for 2 days. And then a few months later, I booked my first lead, and that
and
was Deadly Divas.
and that was Deadly Divas, which
Hmm.
is wow, what a fantastic like first lead to get. I
Yeah.
mean, and obviously you met Taylor as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, so having rewatched Deadly Divas and where Verticals are now, that almost feels like it was really ahead of its time.
Yeah, to this day, it still is. So I was just on set with Shen yesterday. Like this whole week, this whole past week, I've been on
Right.
set with Ideally, which is the same company that produced Deadly
Yeah.
Divas. And we were talking about the script being still to this day, it's still ahead of its time, even though we filmed it last January, because it's two lead female protagonists that are very, very strong female characters who are getting revenge on each other's families. And they were like very wronged, and there's murder and mystery, and there's a lot of betrayal, a lot of like revenge seeking, a lot of putting on a face and pretending to be someone you aren't in order to manipulate and get revenge. And I think that the vertical world is mostly still in the space of like roms, just romantic comedies,
Yeah.
romantic dramas, like yeah. So it's I think still to this day it's ahead of its time, but it's a good watch. It stands
It's
the
so
test of
good.
time. I still get DMs like at least a couple times a week of, "Oh my God, I just watched Deadly Divas. It's so good." Like,
And is everyone cross about who you end up with?
oh yeah, everyone is so cross that I end up with a boy and not Taylor.
They even do like a montage, don't they?
Yeah,
Of look
they
at the
do.
friendship and the closeness, and you think, and then you think it's going to be because I've literally just watched it. When she
Yeah.
goes, when you go up to him, and you think it's going to be, yeah, but you're not for me, and you're like,
Yeah,
darn
yeah,
it,
yeah.
darn it.
No, I get DMs like every day of people saying like, we need part two, but it has to be you and Taylor end up together. And we so agree. And honestly, it makes so much sense because the chemistry between the two female leads is the story. It's them coming together and like, and going against their adversaries on each other, like for each other.
Yeah.
They're sacrificing things for each other, and they're building like a really, really deep relationship, friendship, like just very deep relationship.
But yeah,
It's really beautiful.
it is so, so good. So you did that. And presumably, had you heard of verticals? Like, because they've been around a little bit by then. Was it new to you walking onto
It
something
was
and the speed of
everything
how it
was new to
worked?
me. Acting, everything was new to me. That was
Okay.
I took my first acting class in July of 2023. Yes. And I booked my first role October of 2023.
Wow.
Which I think Verticals started in 2023 in the US at least.
Yeah.
So everything was new to me. Verticals especially, but acting in general was new to me, and I was just happy to get any type of role anywhere, any kind of on-screen time for anything. So honestly, I think that Verticals being the most of what I've done, like the most of what makes up my acting resume, leaves me a little bit kind of, that's not the best question to ask me as far as like
Yeah.
stuff, because I don't know. I
But do you
have done
think
other
it's an
things.
advantage almost in a way? Because it's just,
Um,
well, this, I'm used to working
yeah.
like this. So I don't really know anything else.
Yeah, a little bit. I have been told that. I've been told that like my greenness helps
Mm.
because it's like I'm just used to this like fast pace, shooting 20 pages a day. Like, you get, as soon as coverage is on you, you get, maybe two or three takes if you're lucky. So you have to be super prepared. It kind of reminds me of, I saw this interview of Margot Robbie, and she was asked like, what do you owe some of your acting credit to? And she said it was the 5 years of soap operas that she did before booking bigger movies,
Mm.
because it just exercises the muscle like over and over and over of just like being on screen, on set, being in front of camera, because it's just so fast paced, and you have to learn. You're kind of thrown in the deep end.
So after you do Deadly Divas, I mean, from what looking, it looks like you sort of you do a mix, don't you, of where sometimes you're lead, sometimes you're a different character. What are the other? I mean, I've got some ones I want to ask you about. What are the other roles that for you, I guess, mainly last year that stand out to you? Ones that you
Mm,
particularly enjoyed?
last year. Okay, let's think 2024. Oh, I did this one in Istanbul where I was the manager of two rock stars, and that one
Mhm.
stood out to me because the lead protagonist, the female lead protagonist, was less of like the kind of meek good girl being saved by the boys, and she more so like took charge. And I think that like I get casted a lot as that. When I do play the lead, it's usually like a strong female lead and less of like the like helpless Cinderella type characters. I have played a few of those as well, but I think I get casted more of like the like woman who's taking charge. And I liked that script a lot. It was just a really fun take on
Mhm.
like being a manager of two rock stars, and no one came from like a ton of money. There wasn't any billionaires. It wasn't any of that kind of stuff. It was just like get this band back on the road type of script.
And there's a really satisfying scene where that secret Heiress spoil by two rock stars. It's a really satisfying scene where you'll just basically call them out and like, look, you haven't written a song, you haven't had a hit. Can you
Yeah.
please get with the program?
Yeah.
Um, what? Like, so I have to ask now
Yeah.
because obviously I would have loved you to have had some singing in that.
Me too. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I've been saying this just out loud to everyone just in case it like sticks anywhere. Like, hey, does anyone want to make any kind of vertical that involves any kind of singing? I'm your girl. I will write music for it. Um, and so at this point I just need to like write a script and play it out. But I've gotten interest in it, and people have been like, "Oh yeah, I haven't really thought of that." Like, and like even like a High School Musical type of script, I think like a YA young adult High School
Mhm.
Musical type of script would do really well in the space. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Because that was the only thing about that. I went with it. I thought Stuart and then JC will sing and it will be wonderful. And I think I sing. So yes, I mean basically we can put this on the internet. All the fans want musical verticals, and it would make obvious sense for you to be involved with
Fans would
rewriting
love a
music.
musical vertical. I think they would love it.
Um. So what was it like filming in Turkey? Was that the first time you'd gone abroad to film?
Um, yes, that was. It was the first time I went abroad to film. Um, I'm trying to think. Yes, yeah. And it was so much fun. I'm actually going back in 2 weeks with the same people, um, with Danny as well, Danny Farber, who you know and love. Um, and it was so much fun. It was kind of like a leap of faith. I'm pretty sure I was the first US person to go out there. Like from what I'm hearing from people, there we haven't figured out if anyone went before me.
I don't think they did, because obviously
Yeah.
the other name that people will know in that is Alex Picturedin, but obviously he came from Australia to film there.
Yeah, and also that was with me on that set. So it was like we were the first. Yeah. Um, so yeah, I think it was really a leap of faith. I kind of, in hindsight, I'm like, maybe I should have like checked a little bit more before just like hopping on a plane. But I very much operate like that, so this makes sense. This is like classic JC. Just like, hey guys, I'm gonna go to Istanbul for 2 weeks. Okay, bye. Like in a couple days. Yeah. It was a very last minute casting and I was like, sure, why not? Let's do it.
And have you been to China once or more than once?
Twice. I'm just trying to
Twice. So I guess kind of the question is, how does it compare, like Turkey to China? Just so people who are interested,
Oh,
just like,
it's completely different. And it's honestly the biggest thing is just the cultural difference and the work culture is very different. Like in Turkey, as soon as they hit 12 hours, people literally drop their gear and go home. Like it
uh,
is not expected that you go overtime. It is like
yeah,
unheard of. And if we have to go overtime, like they really go around and ask each individual person and then we'll have like an extra little break or something. Like it's very chill, laxed sets. We still get things done. And then in China, the work culture is just different. They're just much more willing to go overtime and just work longer hours and work harder and it's literally just cultural differences. Obviously, the food's different, the weather's different, the locations are different, that kind of stuff as well. Those are like
yeah.
givens, I think. Yeah.
And is that kind of an unexpected bonus then of like acting? Who would have thought that you'd end up getting
Oh,
to
yeah.
travel in the way you are?
I had no idea. I mean, I moved to LA to pursue this full time. I told myself
Mm.
I won't move to LA unless I book a lead or something big enough that allows me to justify moving to LA.
Uh,
And I moved after Divas because I just kept getting work after that. But yeah, when I moved here, I was like, I'm moving here because I would like to live in the place that I'm working. And then
uh,
now they're like shipping me off left and right, like all over the world, which obviously I love. It's a huge bonus.
yeah. Okay, I have to ask, what's your top travel tip? What should a vertical star take with them?
Music.
Good.
um,
And JC Ab
music.
has it on your Spotify playlist, yeah? Obviously you.
Yep, 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 yep. I have
Yeah.
I have many a playlist if
Yeah.
you want to take a peek. Um, yeah, I think like as far as like planes go, just music and water and
Uh,
food. I, I unfortunately don't sleep very well on planes. I used to have like really, really bad flight anxiety, to the point where like I just wouldn't fly or I'd have like full blown panic attacks on planes. But now I can like travel halfway around the world alone and it's not a problem. So, it gets better, but I still can't fully sleep on planes, even with like Benadryl or medicine.
uh,
So I bring like a book, I listen to my music, I'll download a few movies, always have snacks and water. But as far as adjusting to time zones, my dad taught me that when you land in a new country, have sunlight on the back of your legs and like the back of you for a while and eat at the like eating times of that time zone and
yeah.
that should help like reset your circadian rhythm.
Good advice. And when you're staying abroad, because I know, is it right that when you're in China, you're often doing two projects back to back, aren't you? So
Yeah.
use a bit of time. Is there any kind of home comfort that you know that you like to take with you?
Oh, yeah, I literally just call my people like every day.
Mhm.
I'll be in the makeup chair FaceTiming my mom.
Yeah.
That's my home comfort is just calling and talking to my friends and family. I also journal. I journal like every day. So I think like doing something that I do habitually at home abroad kind of helps.
Mm.
My friend Sarah Grace, she brings a candle.
Oh, I
The like
like that.
little candles that are like this big that you can get at like gas stations and whatnot.
Yeah.
She'll bring that and she'll light that in her hotel room while she's there. Of course, she doesn't leave it,
Yeah.
but that's like a little thing that
I
she
guess
brings
the
home.
sense as well. It's like
Yeah,
using
yeah,
senses, isn't it? Kind of grounds you. Oh,
yeah. I think it's different for everyone, but for me, it's talking to my people and journaling.
okay. So going on to, you've had some amazing projects out this year. I want to start with Engage the Secret Billionaire because isn't that one of the biggest shows on App Shorts?
Yeah, I think it's still their biggest. We filmed it last year,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still their biggest one. Like I talk to them all the time. I love them, and yeah, I think that's probably my biggest show, if not Matrimony, which is kind of like they're kind of doing this right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, do you get like rankings? Can you like rank them of like, well, I know this has had this many million and this has had this many, and yeah.
I honestly don't look. I just kind of like am told these things like, oh, JC, that did really well. Or like, that one didn't do as well. Or like, this one did great, or this one's like projected to do really well. So yeah, I don't really look that often. I'm always like focused on the next thing.
Wait.
But yeah.
So, obviously, you brought up Matrimony, and I do want to ask
Mhm.
you about that. Um, okay, first of all, are you a dog or cat person in real life?
I'm a cat person.
That's the scoop, everyone.
That's the scoop. That's this JC's cat person. I grew up with cats my whole life. I've never had a dog. I love dogs, but I've never owned a dog, so I don't think I've ever had that very close relationship that anyone who's ever owned a dog can say that they've had. But I love them, and I would like to have a dog, but I've just grown up with cats. My parents had a cat before I was born into cat family.
So, how was it? Because what was the dog called in real life?
Um, um, oh my gosh.
Sorry, I've put you
We,
on the
we
spot.
we just like called him Gucci on set even when we weren't
Gucci.
rolling.
Okay.
That
Well,
was
let's
his.
go with Gucci.
Yeah.
How was that? Because obviously that's a bit of a responsibility because you spend quite a lot of time. You're either walking Gucci
Yeah.
or holding Gucci.
Yeah. Um, it was great. We had an animal handler, so we had like a certified person on set. Um, the dog also was an actor, but also was our costumer's dog. So the owner, was on set all the time with him.
Oh, perfect.
So, yeah, it was like he had his mom around. He also had the animal handler, so there was like food and water on standby at all times. Like when we're rolling and I'm handling the dog, but as soon as they call cut, the dog is taken from me
Mm,
and gone back to dog holding and, very well taken care of. Very, very well taken care of.
okay. Excellent.
All the dogs. Yeah.
I'm kind of feeling that Gucci might have been number one on the call sheet on this one. So yeah.
I think Gucci was number two or three, like might have been above Jackson. If I should pull it up and check because that would be so funny if he was.
Um, and also that one is obviously it's so much fun, and obviously the customer has a whale of a time in that. So actually, I feel you get the quite sensible clothes, but obviously some of the shirts Jackson gets to wear, and John and his dad, is played by John Henry Richardson. I
Oh my
mean,
gosh.
they just go for it. I mean, did you know before they come on this is what they're going to be wearing?
Yes, it was like every day I would be like, John, you look positively ridiculous, and I love it. John's outfits were the best, hands down, obviously. And Jackson's were so funny too because he would wear his shirt and he'd kind of like look at it and do this, like it's like foreign object to him. And I would always say something to be like, Jackson, is that your church shirt? Because it's holy, like literally the whole thing is just holes. Like this is what you wear to church. And he'd be like, "Ha ha, very funny."
It's
Um,
a good joke. We make that joke a lot in our house.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously, then that makes sense that if Gucci was the costume was dog, because obviously that's the best bit at the end where
Hmm.
Gucci has his
I know
own
with the
costume.
little hat and everything's so cute.
Okay. Mm.
Yeah, that was so cute.
And I also want to ask you about the sets because it felt like they were quite different, that sets, and also, I mean,
Mhm.
there's some amazing stuff going on. I mean, we have to obviously talk about the giant picture of Jackson in his
Oh God, that
underpants.
was ridiculous. Oh my God.
I mean,
Um,
it's huge.
I know.
Feels
So
like the eyes would have followed you wherever you went.
it was huge, and they had two of them because, art department usually has multiple sets of props in case something gets ruined or something happens. And I think it was originally scripted that I threw those busts at
Mm.
the picture, which I wish we got to do that. It just we just couldn't get the house set up in a way that we could throw them at the picture safely.
Mm.
So we changed the location of where they landed, and where the picture was hanging. But God, I wish that would have been so much fun to throw the Roman busts at the big photo of Jackson. I think that Chen, our director, and he's also head of Production House 8, I think he still has them. I'd like to think he kept them. I think it would be silly if he threw them away. I suggested that they auction them off, and
People
like
would pay.
people would pay and
People.
and donate the money,
Mm.
to like a cause that Jackson chooses. And I think they're still like thinking about that. I don't know. I'll text them about it and be like,
Mm.
"Hey guys, go auction off those big ass photos of Jackson."
And obviously, that was another favourite moment of mine when you start breaking busts. Were they quite easy and set up for you to? Because
So
obviously, they do a very satisfying smash when you
yes,
start doing them.
yeah, yeah. It was interesting because I've worked with a lot of sugar glass before, and that's like the fake breakaway glasses and stuff. But
Mm.
I've never worked with breakaway ceramics, which is what
Mm.
that was. And they're a little bit tougher. You actually have to throw them quite a lot harder than the breakaway glass. And they were really, really fun to work with. I was so shocked that we had like so many of them, because anytime you have to break something, you have to have extras and stuff for
Mm.
for filming purposes. But I was shocked that like they're not cheap, to
Mm.
get those made at like a certain size and the way that they look and everything. And we had a lot of them, and it was great. And I got to work with them. My original like throwing of them, we had art department standing there with giant pillows, like giant pillows, and I was throwing them at the pillows, for the first bits before
And
we actually captured them breaking. And I was
wow.
like so scared because like art department's like holding them like this. And so I'm like, I hope I don't like hit their hand or something. Like I have to like aim for the center of the pillow, but look at Jackson. So
Mm.
I'm like throwing and speaking and doing the performance at the same time as throwing. But we did it. It looked great. So I'm really
It's great,
happy.
and it means we get one of the best lines I think in a Vert all year of like, "You are history's worst nightmare."
Oh yeah, so
I
good.
love. I
The
just,
script was really well written. I really liked that script.
it's a lot of really good one-liners in it.
Yeah.
And just also one of the things that I love about it is obviously since it was filmed, the fact that I can't remember the character's name, but John Henry Richardson's the dad is so obsessed with getting Coldplay at the wedding now has a whole
Oh
new
my God.
meaning
I know,
because
right?
of
When we
what happened
filmed,
at that Coldplay concert.
yeah,
It's just even
that
funnier.
yeah, that happened. Obviously we filmed before the Coldplay thing, and like it has just aged so well. It's so funny. I really think that Viglu should. I don't know if they're promoting the show anymore, but if they do go back into promoting the show, they should totally clip that and like do some kind of something with it because it aged so well.
So good. I have to ask as well. I felt so. You obviously go. You have your little moment with your Declan Clifford's character, who's a dog
Oh,
walker, who it turns
yes.
out is a cat person, and he gets to sing, but you don't. Yet again, I feel
I
like
know.
this is really unfair.
I know what's going on. Yeah, he was great. He was so lovely to work with. And it's just so funny because he's a cat person and a musician. And it's just the irony of like like that is totally my type. Like that's totally JC's type, but not Amelia's. And I was like making jokes about that on set. And I'm like, I would have gone for this guy. Yeah.
But yeah. So I just want to move over to music, and I'm going to come back to verticals. So when did you first start writing songs, and how did that tie in along with your acting career?
I first started writing songs last March. March? March. Last March. And I didn't produce a song until last July. So it's also been like a year of making music. And same thing, I never like grew up wanting to be a singer-songwriter, be a musician. I don't play many instruments. I know a few things on guitar, ukulele, piano. I can pick up stuff, but I'm not like well versed in it. But yeah, like I said, I've always journaled. That's the one thing. I've always journaled my whole life. Always had like some kind of journal or diary. And I think it kind of just formed into song and like poetry at some point. And then I decided, okay, I think I'd like to make a song. I don't know how, when, or where, or how it's going to work, but I'm just going to start like putting it into the universe. I was just like, I'm interested in music. It's like when people would ask me, because you know, you meet a lot of people in LA, that's like a very big thing is just networking, meeting people all the time. That ask like, oh, what do you do? And be like, well, I act full time. I'm interested in music. Never made music. I'm interested in it. And then Connor, my now producer, who I met at volleyball, said, oh, I just moved here and I'm a producer and I've been producing for like 9 years and I just moved here and I haven't worked with anyone yet. Would you want to like come in for a session? I didn't even know what a session was at the time. And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Like, I don't know what I'm doing and we have nothing to lose. So as long as you're aware of that. And then it just totally blossomed into this like amazing producer artist relationship. And now Connor and I are like this. So that's kind of how I got into making music, and I just write about my personal stuff, my life stuff.
With the music, how do you like physically fit that around like a busy vertical filming schedule?
It's a very fair question. My life is like, if I'm not on set, I'm in the studio. That's pretty much my life. And then I also try to, you know, do stuff outside of that as well. But I'm lucky enough that work has allowed me to travel. So when I have days off in other countries, I, of course, paint the town, explore the city. So I get kind of my travel bug out that way. And then I always schedule something every week that's like an outdoor activity that's, I mean, I go outside every day. I go on my daily walks. I try to get like a park read in every day. But as far as like, I play volleyball once a week. Other than that, if I'm not on set, I'm in the studio.
I just say it's really sort of striking to me because I know that, okay, I'm going to go a bit big and broad here, but it's one of the things that I think is really challenging. Okay, I'm going to sound really old for your generation. Just meeting people, because obviously a lot of people are working from home, you know, socialisation, anxiety is increased and all that. And I think you're such an amazing advocate of just, do you know what? I just went and tried things, and then all these beautiful things that is now your life, you know, like roommate, like your acting, like your music. That's all come from you going, I'm just going to put myself out there and go and meet people and talk and see what happens.
I didn't always used to be that way. I honestly think that I was in a point, like I said, I went through this big separation, and I was in this very much like quarter life crisis type of like era of my life where I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. I'm not interested in my degree anymore. I'm not interested in the type of work that I've been doing the past 5 years. Like, I don't know what I want to do with my life. And I was kind of in like a fuck it kind of mood. Like, well, might as well just, you know, try anything since I've got nothing to lose. And I honestly think that that is what allowed me to like have the mindset of like, might as well try it.
Yeah,
I really think that's what it is.
But I just, I hope people kind of take that in, because I just think it's really encouraging that you know, look what's happened for you because you just went and did that. Going back to verticals now, briefly, obviously you've had some amazing costumes and recurring, is it scene partners? Is that the right thing to say?
Yeah, scene partners, co-stars.
Co-stars. So I want to ask first of all about your two shows with I'm not going to pronounce his surname right. Is it Luca Pietro?
Pietro,
Pietro. Pietro.
I think
In
Pietro.
particular, Taming Mr. Champion, because you're
Yeah.
kind of channeling Uma Thurman in that one for me. Because it was
Yeah.
like the Kill Bill outfit. You get this amazing little yellow leather. Is that
Mhm.
like one of the best costumes you've had? That's got to be up
Oh,
there.
for sure. It's the most like charactery type of costume I think I've had because she's like intentionally dressing up as, I guess like a race car driver fan. Like she's
Hmm.
not a race car driver, but she's the fan of one.
Yeah.
So she's like intentionally playing up a character. And that script is interesting because it's scripted that, she's trying to fall in love with this guy, or trying to make this guy fall in love with her because she's contracted to do so by his mother. So I
Mm.
think that her dressing in like character outfits is her attempt at like connecting to his world, but
Mm.
they just happen to be really cool and awesome. So it was so much fun.
And then I also want to ask you. Obviously, you've done quite a few with Paul Addison. You've done some with Gabe as well. What is it like when you kind of return? Is it easier once you've built up that
Yeah,
relationship after you've done
yes.
Vertical?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think returning to people that you've worked with before, and this goes not just for my like male co-stars but also my crew people and my makeup artists and my first ads and my directors. Like I've worked with Danny 3 times. It feels like you again, yes, come here. Like it's so nice. I mean, acting wise it's great because you've already developed a relationship, and it helps with the chemistry a lot more
Mm.
because you've worked together. And these sets are like, they're shared experiences. They're trauma bonding on bad days and their shared experience on good days. You're on set with someone for 12 hours a day. You are their whole life for a week. Like we are
Mm.
each other's entire social circle for like a whole week because you get home and you just knock out. Like I get home, I eat food, I learn my lines for the next day, and then I go to sleep. Like I don't have like a
Mm.
social life when I'm on set. So my like set people are my family, they are my friends. But yeah, it definitely helps. And it's so nice to come back to people. Whenever we wrap, like even last night when we wrapped, we just very confidently all say to each other, like, see you on the next one. And it's not even a joke. It's like, I will see you again because of how often these are filming. And it's so nice. Yeah.
So, in an average month, how many verticals do you do? Do you say?
Um, I my average month is different than, you know, let's say Kira's or
Mm.
Ashley's, um, because I also do music and I like intentionally take time off. So
Mm.
like July, I intentionally took the month off.
Mm.
I had a release party for my music end of June, and I took the time off all of July to work on music. But I would say like the most I would do in a month and the most I have done in a month is 3 leads.
Yeah.
They take a lot out of you, you know?
Mm.
After I wrap, I'm like pretty tired. I need like a day or two of rest. But I would say like an average month is probably one a month, maybe two, if we kind of just, push the whole year into one. But the most I'll do is 3 a month.
And how is that? Because I know I've sort of other people have talked about them as well. As a female, particularly if you're playing female lead, you are pretty much in most of the scenes and you're carrying most of the drama or the emotion.
Yeah.
Kind of how is it just managing that? I just,
Um,
yeah, it's just that's quite intense. It's just
yeah.
are there any tricks you've learned or things that you know that kind of help you move past that emotion?
Um, yeah, I think if you've ever had a really emotional day, you know, something big is happening in your life or just having an emotional day, you know how you feel like also physically exhausted at the end of it?
Mm.
It's the same thing on set. But the good news is that usually our like big emotional days are kind of scheduled. So I might have a day where we're filming all of our hospital scenes in one day,
Mm.
which is I prefer it that way. Let's just have one
Mm.
big emotional day. I try to stay in it all day long. the things that help me stay in it are water and music. I know it sounds so silly, but like you
Mm.
get so dehydrated crying all the time.
Well, yeah.
So dehydrated.
You'll end up with massive headaches if you're not
Yes, and you
hydrating.
can
Yeah.
yeah, like just staying like fed and hydrated, and then music also helps me like stay in it emotionally.
Mm.
But then recovering from it, that's like a whole nother story. I just give myself grace. I like to have dinner prepared. I'll like make dinner for the week.
Mm.
And then I'll just sleep that night and watch something happy at home and like
Uh,
talk to my friends.
yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot.
So do you make playlists then for different characters? Or is it more of there's a general mood playlist? This is that kind of vibe, and I know I'll listen to that one.
I have made specific playlists for specific characters, but it has definitely turned into a general mood playlist. Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so I have to ask, because you did mention hospital scenes.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I've just started watching one of your new ones with Gabe, where it's basically you're married, but you don't realise you're married, and then you're a hotshot divorce investigator, blah, blah, blah. How do you keep a straight face with some of the vertical bandaging? Because, like, what have they done to his head? I'm just like, seriously, how do you sometimes keep a straight face with some of this stuff?
Well, that's why I want these sets to make more blooper reels because we don't keep a straight face sometimes. Sometimes we like fully okay, I don't know if I haven't really talked to my other female leads about this. But I know a couple people have this as well. But I always have like one day where I'm just super giggly for no reason. And there's always one scene that I cannot hold it together. Like pretty much on every film set that I've done, there's like one scene where I just keep breaking and like have a full like laugh attack. And it always tends to be towards the end of set, and I think it's like lack of sleep and food and water. That's
Mm.
like my ongoing
And that makes sense. Yeah.
because it's always like towards the end. But it tends to be those hospital scenes. And you know what I think it is? I think it's the laying down for so long because you get cozy. You get cozy in that hospital bed in your
Yeah.
little hospital gown, and you're there for like, 10 hours. And it's like the sleepy and the lack of, like, you get sleepy and you also have lack of sleep, and you're like in a high emotional state. And then you just like burst out laughing.
Yeah.
And I wish they'd make blooper reels because we don't hold it together. But,
We need
eventually we
bloopers.
lock in. We do our job.
Yeah.
We're actors. We act. But yeah.
So, what are your, like, in all the verticals you've done, what are like the favourite stunts or big scenes? What are the scenes that you're like, oh, I love that. That was so much fun.
Any and all stunts. I love stunts. I love like a blocked out stunt choreography. In Divas, actually, Taylor and I had this whole wrestling on the ground scene where she like we're like yelling, calling each other names. All this tension is coming to a head, and she like pulls my hair, and then she like swipes my like behind my knee, and then I fall, but then I like bring her down with me, and like we had this like whole choreographed scene, and during which the male antagonist is like secretly stealing some stuff. And he kind of set us up so that we'd be angry at each other so that he could have like a way to like secretly steal some important documents. And I wish that they didn't cut to him so much because you miss like all the juicy bits of the fight that we like blocked out. We didn't have a stunt coordinator on that one, so we blocked it out ourselves.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so annoying then. You're like, this is my amazing stunt work. Can we
I
show this,
know,
please?
I know. And like well, I have to give a lot of credit to Taylor because she is a dancer. Like she's been dancing since she was 3. She's a dancer full time. So
Mm.
she's incredible at choreography, and her stunts are just like chef's kiss because
Mm.
she has that dancer like instinct. So she choreographed most of it, 90% of it. So I really have to give her the credit for it. But it was so much fun, and I wish we saw more of it because it was just like it was iconic.
And would you say, some of the craziest things your characters have done? Are there any where you're like, whoa, just,
Well, this week I pushed Tatiana into the pool, which isn't that crazy. I've had crazier things done to me.
I mean, that's so vertical, isn't it? It's like, well, I
I
pushed
know.
her in the pool.
I've been like like held down and got my head like pushed into the pool, like at the
Mm.
edge of a pool. So like they're trying to like drown me essentially.
Yeah.
That's probably the craziest thing I've had done to me, especially as far as safety goes. You know, because you
Mm.
can like safety wise on set, you can have your crash pads and you can have blocking and you could, fall out of frame onto a crash pad. But when you're getting a drowning shot where your face is actually submerged in water, it's very hard to like
Mm.
have kind of, a safety net for that because you physically are, you can't breathe. You're underwater.
Yeah.
There's no like, crash pad for that kind of
Mm.
situation. So that's probably the craziest thing I've done as far as stunts goes. Yeah.
Okay. Um, so talking about your experience then in verticals of over, I mean, what is about 18 months now, how do you think like the genre's changed and also the response that you get on social media from fans?
I think the genre's changed in the sense that it is allowing for better storylines. I think we're still kind of in the same storylines, but we're doing them better and we're
Mm.
branching out a little bit, which is
Mm.
great. I've seen a few more like LGBTQ community scripts, which is great. We'd love to see that in there. And I'm seeing some more action scripts where there really isn't like a romance trope in there. It's really
Mm.
just focused on more of the action. So yeah, and the other thing is just there's just more people involved. More of my SAG friends are getting involved. More of my like writers who have been on bigger projects are getting involved. So you're just seeing because more people are coming to the space. You're just seeing like better quality. You know,
Yeah,
you put enough into it, you're going to get better quality eventually.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And obviously the other side of it as well is obviously social media. Because if you look at your account, I always find it quite interesting looking at obviously actors actresses accounts because obviously for you it's very much it's the music. So at the moment,
Yeah.
like on Instagram, it's music, and obviously
Mhm.
that's your passion. Um, and the only vertical you actually have a post on is I have to remember the name of it
I
now.
think it's Stop Calling Me Miss.
Stop calling me Miss. I'm just like almost like what was it about that one that got a post?
Um, it was just shot and edited so well. And Gev, the director, he's incredible. He's a close friend now. He
Uh,
actually directed my visualizer. So my like music video thing
oh
that's out
wow!
on YouTube right now
Yeah,
for Hard Truths. He directed that
yeah,
and shot and edited it as well.
yeah.
Um, that one was just done so well. It was done so tastefully. It looked so good. I think the acting was really good all around. Like I'm really proud of that project.
Uh,
And I'm really proud of Matrimony as well. That's why it also got a couple posts.
uh,
But yeah, I think that it's important to like be proud of the stuff that you're doing
uh,
and post about it. But obviously, with music, no one else is promoting that but me. So it's really important
right.
that that takes the cake as far as my Instagram goes and as far as my self promotion goes. So that's kind of why it's divided
Mm,
in that
yeah.
way.
And has actually the vertical audience helped with that? And that's actually given you an audience to try and then
Oh
bring
yeah,
over to your music. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. I would say like half of my music fans are my vertical fans, which is great.
brilliant. Yeah.
And it seems very genuine too. It seems like, oh, we found you because of this show, but then we stayed for your music. It's like, yeah, that's what I want.
That must be so satisfying. Just
It
like,
is. It's really nice. Yeah.
yeah. So going forwards, I guess what would you like to do next? What's on like your acting music bucket list as such?
Music bucket list is that I'm officially working on my EP, and so expect that to come out probably next year, hopefully early next year. And I'll probably drop a few more songs in between now and then that kind of
Um,
like tease the EP. So that's really exciting. It's like for anyone who doesn't know what an EP is, it's like a small album, like
um,
5 or 6 songs
yeah.
that are all kind of go together. Acting wise, obviously I'm gonna keep doing verticals. I love them. I love meeting people. I love verticals, but also I would like to do other things as well. My big goal for acting is to be a part of an A24 film, and I'd like to be a part of more indie features. So, people like me who are developing scripts, don't have a lot of money behind them, and are just like really eager to tell a story. I think I like working with like very driven, eager people, and I find them more in the indie space. So that's kind of the acting goal as well.
And I have to ask, so I just want to go back. So I know I'm jumping around. This is where my brain
You're
works.
so good.
So with the music, I was obviously with the videos, that it's kind of nice because obviously it sort of comes back to the verticals. Does that help with things like the styling as well and the look? And obviously, you always have beautifully shot. If anyone goes to Spotify when it looks at the music, which they should, they will see beautiful photos of you. Does it help then almost that you've got all those contacts in the vertical space because actually they can help you with some of the aspects of the music, like
Yeah,
visualizer?
yeah. I mean, just in the same way that like Gev shot my visualizer and edited it, and I met him on a vertical set.
Yeah.
Um, I meet a lot of photographer friends on vertical sets. I actually was just talking to my costumer yesterday on set about potentially styling me for some music content. So yeah,
Wow.
I mean, all in all, it's like, they have a lot of overlap, music and film,
Mm,
because you have to eventually film some type of something visually for music. You don't
mm.
have to, but it would be silly not to have pictures and videos and things that help portray your music. So it makes sense that there's some overlap, especially in like the creative departments, like art department and styling and hair and makeup, costume, that kind of stuff. So yeah, they definitely help.
Thing. So now I have to ask you about what's your taste. So, okay, so I'm going to narrow it down for music because obviously, if I just ask what music do you like, that's like way too big. Um, the voice, okay.
Okay.
So specifically, whose voices like do you rate
Ooh.
as like wow, their voice, male, female, dead or alive?
Okay. Okay. Very solid question. Um, I actually love. So you're asking me about tone, by the way. And I love Justin Bieber's tone. Tone is something that like you're born with. It's something you can't change. You can change like your your skill level and how you use your voice, but for example, Amy Winehouse will never sound like Justin Bieber
Mm,
or Ariana Grande. Like Miley Cyrus will never sound like Ariana Grande and vice versa. Like that's
mm,
their tone. Um, and I love like interesting tones that kind of, when you hear something and you're like, oh, that's that person. Like, immediately because it's so recognizable, like
yeah.
Ariana Grande, Amy Winehouse, like people I just named.
Mm,
I love soft, gentle tones. I love Justin Bieber's voice. I love Lizzie McAlpine, Clairo, those types of like soft, kind of ethereal voices
mm.
are really, really, really interesting.
Okay, thank you. Oh, that was a good answer as well. And then I have to ask, because obviously we've done acting. Okay, any recent recommendations, movies, TV shows that you've loved,
Ooh.
you've watched on flights?
Yeah, I just finished Severance. It was so good. If you haven't, I think it's the top nominated show right now for Emmys. I think it has 27 nominations or something like that. It's like beating The Bear and The Studio and like
Mm.
other things. For TV, Severance. And then I just watched a movie recently called Nickel Boys, which was so good. That's like my favorite thing that I've watched this year so far. It's a little, it's a little, it's a little intense for. It's like a true story retold. So
Mm.
it's not. It's like not the easiest watch, but it's really good, and it's incredible storytelling, incredible DP work. It's like beautifully shot. Yeah, Nickel Boys. So those would be my two recs: Severance
And
for
then
TV, Nickel Boys for movie.
I love it. Okay, and I have to then. Okay, this is such a cliche question, but it's always a good one. Okay, desert island. What are you taking? You can take three or four things.
Oh, Desert Island. Okay. Oh my gosh. Can I take my cell phone?
You can take your cell phone, that's
Okay,
fine.
great.
And
Yeah.
there'll be amazing Wi-Fi, like some miracle.
Okay. Great. Amazing Wi-Fi. Then I'm taking my cell phone. Then I can talk to my people. Um, hmm. Some kind of like weapon or tool so I can like chop things down and
Yeah.
fight if I need to for some reason. Um, Maybe a compass? God, I'm so unprepared for this question.
I'm thinking
Um,
you probably want to take your journal as well, from what you
yeah,
said.
yeah, I would take. I'm over here thinking like survival skills.
Okay, that's
Um,
good.
yeah,
Yeah.
my journal. Yeah,
Journal.
music.
I
If
think
there's a
like
way I could take
do you
music.
have like the Swiss Army knives? That
Yeah,
would cover
yeah.
most situations when you could get into a
Great.
coconut
That's the
and
weapon.
fend
Yeah.
yourself. Yeah.
I feel like that was such an underwhelming answer, but there you go. Those are my
No, it's fine.
answers.
Um, and then just actually, and my final question is actually around the journaling, because obviously that's been something that's been a constant through your life. Um, Paper over digital,
Oh yeah, paper over
pen, pencil,
pen,
biro. What's your pen?
pen and paper. I'm the type of person where so I've tried to keep different types of journals. Like this one is for like diary type stuff, like journaling about my life. This one's for like my to-do list. This one's for like my ideas and work stuff and career stuff. It doesn't work. I have to have one journal. I just call it my dump book. It's just a dump book. And
Mm.
it will have like one page will be like a to-do list. The next page will be like a three-page journal entry. The next page will be like my grocery list for that day. The next page will be like I was on a call and I like had to write down like phone numbers and stuff. It's just a dump book. There'll be song lyrics. There'll be like arrangement ideas for the song. And then there'll be like my schedule for the month. Like I will physically draw a calendar and like make
Yeah.
my schedule for the month. So I tried to keep multiple notebooks. It doesn't work. So I always have just
Right.
one on me.
Doesn't. So I've done this with verticals. I tried to start a notebook to write down ones that people tell me to watch, and then I lose
Mhm.
the notebook and can't remember which one it is in. So I think you're very right. Okay, I'm going really nerdy here, but I'm a bit of a stationary. So,
Me too.
okay, lines, plain or dotted paper or grid paper?
Lines. You know what?
Lines.
Just for you, this will be a Jen exclusive. I'm going to show you one of my finished notebooks. Stay ready. So, without like exposing myself too much, I'm just going to like flip through it.
Lined. Oh, I like that you've got a spiral bound because then it lays
Yeah,
nice and
always
flat.
spiral bound because I like being able to do that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I also always A5. This is A5 size,
Mm.
not
Yeah.
like, not the full 8 by 10, like, school notebooks, always
Mm.
A5 size, always spiral bound. I buy these in bulk on Amazon. They have like a little plasticky type cover and it's bendy.
Good for spillages. Bit of
Good for
plastic.
spillages,
Yeah.
and there's probably coffee stains in here. And then it's always just like, of course I have favorite pens, of course.
Of course.
But there's always like random stickers and highlights and stuff in here. But yeah,
I love
that's it.
that.
This is my life organization system. This and my calendar app on my iPhone.
Mm.
That's how I exist in this world. Is my notebook and my calendar app.
And that's all you need. That's lovely and
Yeah.
simple. I just want to say thank you so, so much for just spending an
Thank you,
hour with me.
Jane.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been so lovely. Um, and I'm so excited to like share this with everyone and tell everyone again, like, guess who I got to talk to? Jen.